What is up guys, Cliff here once again, welcome back to Overwatch. We got a fresh batch of patch notes to go along with a call to action for us to test the changes in the PTR, so I've spent this morning doing this exact thing. If you want to read up on all of the details, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. In this video, however, I'd like to talk about some of the more significant changes. Starting this off with the latest addition to the hero roster, Ana. Ana is a support sniper featuring a biotic rifle for her main weapon. This gun feels a lot like a bolt action rifle. What's interesting to note is that there is no reload animation export you can perform on this gun, as the animation simply continues where it left off should you try to break it through a melee attack. Anyway, this biotic rifle shoots darts that, when hitting a friendly target, will restore health and when aimed at an enemy do some damage, along with a dot that will keep on damaging the target some more. Her rifle is comparably weak, especially when looking at the other sniper in the game, Widowmaker, but what she lacks in damage, she makes up in utility. Along with the rifle, she brings a biotic grenade that, again, has two effects. If hitting an enemy, they won't receive any healing for a brief few moments, while restoring health plus giving a temporary boost in health received for a short period of time. This ability can also be used to heal yourself, as Ana features only 200 HP with no shields or armor. Moving on, she brings a sleep dart to the table that can not only be used to stun enemies that try to get close up and personal, but also deny enemy ultimates, somewhat like McCree with his flashbang. And lastly, her ultimate sure is something. The nano boost will increase a teammate's movement speed, damage, and resistance for a remarkable amount of time, to be honest. After spending some time with Ana, I feel like she's not just a neat addition to the roster, but she might even have the potential to throw the current meta upside down and bring an entire new level of team synergy to the table. Her ultimate is extremely powerful and feels right about broken when paired with, well, really anyone else's ultimate. Remember how Genji's ultimate can be taken care of with relative ease because he's pretty squishy? Well, Ana can change that very quickly, and same goes for Reaper. If you don't have a hard stun at hand, you will probably be dead before you know what's happening. McCree's Deadeye becomes insanely ridiculous, not only increasing his damage output, but also allowing him to move with what feels like close to normal speed when getting Ana's nano boost. You think only ultimates become crazy? Well, you didn't see a nano boost at Reinhardt yet. Believe me, you don't want to have this huge red glowing hammer coming towards you, because I guarantee it will be the last thing you see should you be all out of evasive abilities. Overall, Ana feels like she's in a solid place. Her damage output, while being significantly lower than, for example, Widowmaker's or Zenyatta's, still feels very appropriate. Her playstyle is very unique and she brings some amazing utility to the battlefield. Talking about Zenyatta, good old robot buddy, got an increase to 50 to his shield, adding up to a total of 150 shields and 50 health. Along with that, his Orb of Harmony and Discord's travel speed has been increased quite significantly, allowing him to apply buffs and debuffs more flexibly. Along with that, he's gotten a movement speed buff when using Transcendence, and the healing output was increased from 200 to 300 per second. I think a lot of players are glad about this buff, giving him a little more survivability and increasing his overall effectiveness. Playing on the PTS doesn't feel much different from the live servers, but it was noticeable that I didn't die as quickly anymore, so I guess mission accomplished, Blizzard. Now moving on to a hero that does feel very much different to play. D.Va. D.Va has a significant overhaul in her kit. Her defense matrix is no longer a cooldown based ability with unlimited absorption. You'll notice that the shield has been rebound to the right click button and now remains active for as long as players hold said button. You'll also notice an energy bar on your screen that depletes along your shield is active. Once completely used, the defense matrix will need 10 seconds to get back to 100%. It functions more like Reinhardt's shield though, in that you don't have to wait for it to get back to full. You can use up any amount of energy you please. A fully charged defense matrix can stay up active for up to 4 seconds. The absorption criteria seemingly didn't change at all. You can still soak up every projectile in the game, while melee attacks and beams will still damage you. I gotta say that I've spent most of my time this morning with D.Va. The jetpack along with the energy-based defense matrix gives her never before seen utility, allowing you to charge straight into snipers and backline damage dealers to harass them without dying immediately. In addition to that, her ultimate cost was decreased by 15%, the delay for the explosion was reduced from 4 to 3 seconds, and can no longer kill D.Va herself. Overall, D.Va has great chances of easily becoming one of my new main characters should her changes make it into the live game the way they are on the PTR right now. Before we move on to game mode specific changes, here's a list of noteworthy hero changes. Self-healing abilities now charge ultimate abilities. As a result, some heroes' ultimate costs have been adjusted. Bastion's ultimate cost was increased by 10%. McCree's Peacekeeper now maintains full damage at longer distances, but will deal less damage at extreme ranges, making him not only viable choices against Pharah, but also allowing extremely skilled players to become extremely deadly beyond their flashbang right-click combo. The developer notes that his damage range is now similar to that of Soldier 76. Mercy's damage buff was increased from 30 to 50%. The effect will no longer stack with another Mercy, which I wasn't even aware of being possible. I just kinda assumed they wouldn't allow that by default. Anyway, her ultimate cost has been increased by 30%. However, she's no longer movement restricted when reviving. Roadhog's ultimate cost has been increased by a whopping 45%, which I personally find quite an overkill, but we'll see how that plays out. Soldier 76 also suffers a 10% increase in ultimate cost, as also increased cooldown to his spread recovery. I did always think it was kind of ridiculous that you could effectively use Soldier's left click with no spread whatsoever, a mechanic I took advantage of on a regular basis, especially when trying to deal with those pesky Pharahs. Well, we'll see how significant this increase in spread recovery delay is when the game goes live. Now let's move on to general updates. We're seeing a long desired change in the overtime mechanic, which especially in competitive play has been a rather frustrating thing to deal with. So if a match goes into overtime for more than 20 seconds, the fuse will start to burn down faster. Along with that, player respawn will be increased by a solid 2 seconds. This should help with the ridiculous Tracer Winston last man standing comps, especially on King of the Hill maps. Talking about competitive play, they are currently testing the 1 hero limit rule on the PTR. Beyond everything you and I have experienced, I would just read the developer's post out to you guys, specifically the part where he addressed why they are testing this change. Again, if you want to check out the entire thread, the link will be in the description below. In quick play, where things are intended to be more relaxed, this is fine, but in competitive play, we feel that hero stacking is becoming detrimental and leading to some not so great player experiences. For example, we've seen organized teams on assault and hybrid maps use hero stacking to overtake the first point before the defense has a chance to counter. We've also seen players use specific stack compositions just to frustrate their opponents or cause indefinite delays in overtime, among other strategies. While this kind of thing is certainly possible in any mode, the higher stakes of competitive play means these kinds of tactics were popping up more often than anyone would like. Ultimately, we found that we agreed with a lot of the community's feedback and believe that hero stacking is making the game feel less fun for competitive players. And that's already everything I got for today, but don't forget that those are PTR patch notes and can change before rolling out in the live servers. However, I am glad to see that the community's feedback reaches the devs and they are working on fixing those issues as quickly as possible. I've got to commend the Overwatch development team for how fast they react to such things. Anyway, this is me done for the day. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a like on your way out, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.
It's high noon.
Triple kill. Quadruple kill. Enemy turret ahead. Watch it.
Never had a chance.
That is a terrible name for a cowboy.